Hello? Anybody out there? Hello? Um, if you are here and can hear me, can you please say something in the chat? Okay, cool. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. We're just getting started, and it's giving a few more minutes for everyone to jump on. So welcome to the Quantum Shifts in Love and Life, and so excited to have you here. And just giving a few more minutes for everybody to jump on. And so get your tea or your coffee or your wine and have some, maybe a pen and paper would be nice. And because we're going to go through a lot of things you don't want to miss. So we're just waiting for a few more minutes. Hi, everyone. Okay, thank you. I see somebody's from their iPad. Good, we got a couple more people. Yay. I see somebody, and just practice maybe typing in the chat if you're not used to Zoom, and let me know where you're from. I think it's always fun. There's people coming in from all over the country, and it's nice to see where everybody is from. I'm from, well, California. I just moved to Sedona. So I almost just caught myself there because I'm like, usually I say I'm from California, but my new home's in Sedona. Flora, is that you from Canada? Oh, Maryland. Very nice. I used to be from, I'm an East Coaster myself from New Jersey. So glad to have you. And now Luana, how come I can't remember how you pronounce your name? Luana, you can unmute, I think. I'll ask to unmute.
It's Lana from Canada. You're at our last meeting. Yeah.
All right, awesome. I'll just mute you back. Welcome, everyone. We'll get started. A few more minutes. I'll give it a couple more minutes to get everybody on. And absolutely, Lana, will do. All right. Well, we're going to get started. And so, I just want this to be, this is a great opportunity. We're going to go over a lot of information, and this is a great opportunity to, we have a small group tonight, so we have an opportunity to ask questions and really be interactive together. So I'm really glad to have you here. My name is Kim Quick, and this online event is called Quantum Shifts in Love and Life. And like I said, there's the chat. So make sure you get yourself familiar with that because you can ask questions in there and I will open up everything. But, oh, let me share my PowerPoint presentation. And so now how is it going? And you can type in the chat, like how, number one, so I can cater this presentation to, you know, if you could type in the chat, are you here because you're single and you're struggling and finding love, or you're already in a relationship and you'd like to, you know, maybe you're not sure where to go with that relationship, or maybe you would like to optimize your relationship. So just let me know where you're at in your love life, or maybe something else that you want to work on. So what's really important for you to work on tonight? Okay, good, good. You're single. So, okay, so I'll cater it. We got a lot of people who are single here. So very good. All right. Now, how are you feeling right now? Are you single? And do you even cringe when you hear the words online dating and cannot deal with wasting your quality time on another bad date, rejection, or being hurt? Like, are you just like, I'm really done with this online dating thing? Um, do you feel alone? Maybe your heart is really heavy right now. Whether you are single or in a current relationship, maybe it's been really challenging. I know it has been, during the pandemic. That certainly hasn't helped. With feeling alone, and our heart has been heavy and been going through a lot of uncertainty and things going on. And maybe you tried everything. Maybe you've been in therapy, um, and maybe you've been on podcasts, you read some books, and you're really, you keep coming up short in finding love. It's just been really challenging. And maybe you feel like you're at a crossroads because you're like, I don't know if I should continue doing this anymore. I don't want to be alone, but I feel like giving up. Or maybe you just feel like you're going to settle in the current relationship that you are in. Um, and I know how you feel because I've been there. And I, you know, uh, found myself at 40, single, never been married. And it wasn't from, a lack of trying. I was, dated a lot. I was online dating, was getting fixed up. I, would go out a lot with my girlfriends, and I kind of joke about this, but I think I went on like 200 dates when I was dating. Like I could have been in the world's record because I was like, I'm not going to give up. But I really struggled. And I also, would always be in relationships with men who didn't want a commitment. And I mean, it ended up where I really didn't have a boyfriend for 15 years. And that's a really long time for somebody who was out there trying. And time again, it was, and I would stay in these relationships with these men that weren't, really giving me what I want. Because I thought maybe if only they would get to know me, they would love me. And it never happened. And I remember this one time I felt so hurt because I was dating this guy off and on. He was a great guy, and and on paper, he had a good job, and he drove a fancy car, and we had great sex together. But I was never introduced to his friends or family. I was I never saw him on the holidays. I'm the one that did most of the work. I'm the one that probably reached out to him the most. And like I said, I kept staying in this relationship with this man for almost 2 years, off and on, because I thought maybe, things would have turned around. And I remember once, one time after having sex, and I was just like, you know what? I really, I'm like, I'm really looking for a relationship. What about you? And he said, oh, I'm not, I'm busy right now. I really don't have time for a relationship. And, that kind of hurt. And I was like, okay, so I kind of got the picture and I was like, this isn't going anywhere. But what really bothered me was 2 weeks later, I was talking to my girlfriend. We had mutual friends, and she told me, she's like, "Oh, did you hear about this guy I was dating? He just got engaged." And I have to tell you, where there's times when you feel like your heart's just being ripped out, like you get down on your knees. And I was sobbing. And the biggest thing, what was bothering me about this was it wasn't, you know, it wasn't that he didn't want a commitment. He didn't want it with me. And, of course, he strung me along all that time. And so, and you think I would have learned from that? Um, no, I didn't. I kept dating those same types of men over and over again. And finally, I was like, you know what? Something is going on here, and I got to get to the bottom of this because this is a pattern. And um, and I'm the common denominator. So that's like the first thing that really was, just to give you a golden nugget right now, um, uh, is that um, we are the common denominators in these relationships, and to take responsibility. So that's the first step. Now, once I did that, I went on this quest. I went on this journey of I was going to get to the bottom of this, and actually I hired myself a coach, and I took courses, and I researched and experimented, and lo and behold, with everything that I learned, it was over a 6-year period, I ended up meeting a man on Match.com, and he's currently my husband. And we've been together for 10 years almost, and we've been married for 4. I'll just show you um, a little picture of. And we got married. Yeah, like I said, we got married 4 years ago in Dana Point Harbor. And this man, the complete opposite of what I had before, is somebody that loves and adores me, cherishes me. He can't wait to be with me. And he was the one that called me on Tuesday to go out on Friday, and did everything right. And we're still to this day so happy, so in love. And my best friend, great adventure. We had lived in California with this beautiful home, view of the ocean, and now we just moved to Sedona, on a 3-acre house, and we're just loving life. And so this is what, with all this, with everything that I learned, and this is another thing, we like to sail. And I'll tell you too, I'll get more at the end about how did I specifically get everything. Because I had 29 items, a list of things that I wanted in a man in a relationship, and I got all of them. And, and everything that I learned, I pulled it all together, what I call my Forever Love formula. And I have been teaching women and some men the past 7 years. And they're, because I pulled everything together, what I learned, they were able to, some find love within 30 days, some 90 days with what I'm going to share with you today too, tonight. So I'm really excited to share this information and to help you. And this is where this is called this quantum love, quantum shifts in love and life, is, how you can catapult, really change your reality, change your life like that. And it can happen like that. And speaking, because I had taken a break for 6 months, and when I went back online with everything I learned, I found him in 2 weeks. So I was only online for 2 weeks and found the love of my life. So I'm super excited to share this information with you. And I'm just going to read some of the chats going on here. Good. You only heard good things about Match.com. Yeah, there's a lot of great guys on. Yes, Match.com is my favorite too. So, but I'll get into more about online dating at the end. So you want to stay to the end. I have some gifts for you, and we're going to have a great time together. So, all right, on to our next slide. And this is for you. If maybe you're afraid of getting burned again with a man with the hidden issues, the liars, the unemotional, available, like I was. Maybe you've heard that you intimidate men and wonder what the hell does that even mean? I mean, I used to hear that sometimes, that I had too strong of a personality, like there was something wrong. Maybe you ended another relationship and you think, I can't believe I'm here again. I can't believe I'm in the same freaking place. I know I used to say that. You're struggling. Maybe you feel like you're wasting your time. I hear this a lot. And maybe you should throw in the towel. And maybe you feel like you're in a relationship now, you should just stay in it, because I'd rather settle and just be in this relationship than get out there and start dating, because it just seems like it's too challenging. And maybe it's just better just staying single too. I hear this a lot, especially from very successful ladies. They're like, you know what? I'm happy. I have my career. I have my family, vacations, my grandkids, my kid. Is it really worth it? And I will say it is, to have, when it's right, it's right. And to have this amazing person in your life that you get to share it with, that loves and holds you and is there for you, is something you want to experience in your life. So in our time together, we are going to go over what are the top barriers to finding love and how can you overcome them? How can you connect to your softer side? The most effective way to heal, open your heart, and stop sabotaging your love life. How can you feel empowered, confident that it's really possible for you to find love that you desire, no matter what has happened in the past, no matter what? And I'm going to give you some daily practices that you can use so that you're really feeling good about yourself, healing, opening your heart, and having this positive energy. And these shifts, once you make them, you will have the man who's going to be there with you to grow, that you can lean on, you can count on him. He's going, someone, a shoulder to cry on, and your best friend, you laugh and smile and have fun. And when this man looks into your eyes, you feel totally loved, adored, safe, and deep in your heart and soul that he's there for you forever. Like there's no wondering. And he shows up all the way and is right by your side no matter what. And he loves and adores you for you. I always wanted that. Like, I wanted a man that got a kick out of me. And you finally have an attractive man by your side doing all those fun things together, go on vacations, being the holidays. We have Valentine's Day coming up. And I know those holidays, they used to kill me when I was single, because I was like, especially Valentine's Day, I didn't even want to go out. And when I used to see people getting flowers at work, and it was just, it really bothered me. So having those holidays and vacations, or even just a Saturday night alone, watching TV, Netflix with your glass of wine is nice to have with your loved one, right? And so tonight we are going to talk about this quantum shift. And what is a quantum shift? And so what we can say a quantum shift is and I have a definition here, is where a person envisions some desired result or state of being that's different from the existing situation. So you are envisioning having love, um, and it's not what you have right now, what you desire, and you see the possibility of it, and you're supplying this energy that makes this leap into this alternate reality, meaning the alternate reality would be you having this love that you desire. Like, it's a catapult. It's one day it could, and this could happen, right? Today you're single, or today you're in this relationship that's not what you desire, and tomorrow or a couple weeks from now, it is possible for you to find the love of your life. And so that's another thing to really, where are you thinking in possibility? What is possible? It was possible for me that did not have a boyfriend for 15 years to 2 weeks go back online and found the one, and my life was altered forever, right? So now let's talk about this. Let me go back for a second. Let's talk about a little bit more about quantum. So quantum is, and remember, we will do Q&A at the end. I'm just having us on mute right now so I can get through everything. And like I said, take notes, or you can take pictures. And I'll probably send the recording of this so you can have it too. But yeah, like I said, we'll do Q&A at the end. So just take notes and you can ask your questions at the end. Now, back to the quantum, is that quantum is really energy. And with, it's the most smallest energy, and that's more of the scientific approach of quantum, right? Now, we are all made up of energy. Us as humans are energy. Our bodies wouldn't work if we weren't energy. Our brain wouldn't think if we weren't energy. Our heart wouldn't beat. Our digestion wouldn't work if we were not energy. So number one, you got to get that right. You understand how we are energy. And as energy beings, we are all connected. And they actually call this, so you can look it up, quantum entanglement. Now, have you ever had this happen, like you were thinking of somebody and they end up calling you? It was like kind of weird, that serendipity. That's really because, and they're saying that energy travels, right? And so we're connected. That's why you could be thinking of somebody and they end up calling you. And too, that think of energy of, like, have you ever gone into a room and you felt the energy of the people in the room? So there's that aura, right? We have an aura about us. It can be high, by a more positive aura, or a more low negative, what we could say, low negative aura. And so, and even, so with these energies connecting, we want to be at a high positive vibrational state, as they say, if you follow laws of attraction, and that to attract the man that you want. And just clearly, we could see that, if say you have anxiety and you go out on a date, don't you think that that person's going to be able to feel that anxiety, right? Or even if you go online and you kind of have anxiety about going online, or you have anger or frustration, your energy is going to affect your feelings, your emotions, the choices that you make, maybe even how you message a man online or how he messages you. Or so this is all connected. And even in relationship, there is, when you're already in a relationship, say my energy, say I'm in a bad mood, my husband's going to pick up on that, right? So I just wanted to give you a little background of where I'm coming from with this quantum shift and the energy and how we're all connected. Now, going down the line here with our, so let me just share this. So now let's look at some of our patterns. And this is one of the first steps in solving your love problem. You can take some time after this seminar to write down, go back and look at all the people you've dated and the people that you've had relationships with that you can remember, and see if you see a pattern. So maybe you have the same man with a different face. Maybe you've had a hard time being in your feminine and you think it's not the real you. Like, so I hear that a lot, because we'll hear a lot out there. Oh, you got to be in your feminine. Well, what the hell does that even mean, right? Do you have a hard time speaking up for what you want? Do you overstep bad behavior? Do you say, are you busy all the time? Do you, say you don't have time to date because of work, kids, or parents? Do you maybe you met a nice man, you start getting anxious when he wants a commitment. Maybe you're the one that pulls back because you get scared. Do you have a fear of rejection and you jump the gun thinking the worst thing is going to happen, like you're anticipating, and you get nervous, especially when, you don't hear from somebody and you're constantly looking at your phone. Oh my God, when is this guy going to call me? Again, do you feel you intimidate men? Like maybe you are very successful, you have a strong personality, and you might feel that you don't have somebody out there that will accept you for you. And we have fear of losing our independence. I know I did. Like, oh my God, if I get into a relationship with a man, am I going to feel engulfed? Am I going to feel like I can't be myself, or I can't go with my girlfriends, or am I going to lose my independence? Or can I even, I was single for so long. I used to think, can I even live with a man? I don't know if I can. Or the other one, do you jump into relationships too soon? I see this a lot, after 2 or 3 dates, and it's like, okay, let's take ourselves off of online dating, and we should commit. And that, we can see that a lot. Or, we don't even know somebody that well, and we're already in a committed relationship, and then we have these expectations. So there's a few of those patterns that you can take a look at, because that would be the first step that you want to see. Like, so write it down. Take the time to do an exercise and write that down. I'm just going to check the chat real quick. Oh, okay, good. We got some comments here, no questions yet. Good. All right. Now, so there's our patterns. Sorry, give me a little patience with technology. So now, based upon these patterns, these are from our beliefs, our thoughts, and our feelings. And our beliefs and thoughts and feelings are based upon experience we had at a very early age and throughout our adult life. So it doesn't matter, like you could have had a very dysfunctional family, right? I know I did. My parents got divorced when I was 10, and my dad ended up taking off somewhere, and they were kind of crazy. So God bless them. I love my parents, but they are role models, and they have affected us as children, because they were our role models. And because we were children, we didn't know how to process certain things. We didn't understand certain things. We took it to heart. We made it mean something about ourselves, about other people, and about life. And these experiences, like where we made it mean something, like number one, like we're not good enough, right? Or we're bad, or, we're a burden. And maybe our parents, they're trying to do the best they can, but they're human, and maybe they said something and you took it the wrong way, like, maybe they were busy and they said, oh, I can't talk to you right now, something even small. Or some of us have had some real trauma. We've been abandoned, we've been abused. There goes, there's from the low end to the high end of the spectrum of these experiences that we had that have affected us. And not only in our childhood, but through teenage, through adult, we've had these things bother us. And not only bother us, but their trauma, and they're even, there's the small trauma and there's the more, more stronger, impactful traumas. And with these, what ends up happening is that when these things happen, there was feelings that happened in our body. Like, say we had some fear, maybe our parents were yelling and fear came us. That feeling is in the body. We feel that our stomachs get upset, our chest tightens, we might get headaches. So that's where we want to heal, is through the body. And that's where the quantum shift in your love life will happen, when you can heal these feelings that are in your body. And like, you can just take an example, like, think right now of some type of something that's happened in the past week or the past couple of weeks, or, whenever. I mean, even now during this whole, pandemic, the election, all of that, you know, uh, how have you been feeling? Where do you feel it in your body? When you get angry, and everybody's kind of, mine, I always feel mine in my chest. Everybody's kind of different. But if you can think, just take a moment and think, maybe you got pissed at somebody at work a couple of days ago, and you just kind of, if you can even bring that back and try to think about it, and how angry, maybe you're angry right now at some man or online dating. Feel it, and see where you feel that in your body. And this is the key. And I'm not, there's a lot of good stuff out there, and there's a lot of great therapists. But one of the things I feel that's missing, and I've done therapy, is it's a lot of talking. And it's not connecting more with the body, because it's the body, the mind, and the spirit, right, that has us to make this quantum shift. And so that's what I have seen it's missing, is we're not healing these emotional states through the body. And we're, and that's why, affirmations are good, but a lot of times they don't work. It's because we're more in our head, and we're trying to change things through our mind. That's why mindset, everybody's talking about change your mind, change your mindset. And there's some power to it. But what I've found, that it doesn't make the full difference that it's need. And I'm going to share with you some stories. Okay. And so here is where it shows up in our love life. Maybe you have felt unlovable and unworthy, and you stay in a relationship too long, right? That would make sense. And I'll give you an example. Two things. When I was the eldest, and when my sister was born, my dad had favored my sister. And he didn't do it on purpose. It just, kind of just happened that way. But I made it mean that I was unlovable. And then ended up, my dad had a series of times where he didn't show up where he said he was. And so this really stuck with me. And that I made it mean this about myself. And it gets not only in the body, but it's in the neurological brain, a pattern in the brain. And these are all connected. Maybe you find something wrong with every man, or have a fear of a commitment. Maybe you feel unsafe, or you have a hard time trusting because something happened in the past. This is another one I see a lot. You overgive in a relationship. You're the one that's giving, giving, giving all the time. And maybe you're trying to win the love because that's what you had to do. Like, it reminds me of one of my clients, her father he always favored the boys all the time, her brothers. And it always seemed like, she had to win his love. She had to do good in school. She had to do good in sports. Um, and, our parents only want the best for us, but how it's coming across and what we made it mean was that I have to win my love by doing things. You have a pattern of unemotional, available men. Like, just, type in the chat what you may be seeing for yourself as I go through these. What's really hitting you? You're like, oh, yeah, you know what? I can see this. I can see this for myself. You say you have a type. Oh my God, I used to say that all the time. Oh, that guy's not my type. Um, our so-called type. Mine was the guy that didn't want to have a commitment, and you're unsatisfied, or you're based on the fantasy of the man versus what it takes for a real man in a relationship. We have this fantasy in our heads of what we think is the type of man or the type of relationship that we think that is good, because we didn't have great role models. And that's another thing I'll talk about later, is there is things to look for in a man that you can tell that this man can be in a long-term relationship. And this thing, we have not been taught this stuff. So this is great. Maybe you put the man on the pedestal and deep down you think he is better than you. I did that too. I probably did all of these. You're afraid to speak your desires. You have this fear and you step over everything. You don't speak up for what you need because maybe you were shut down. Even like they have I remember hearing kids should be seen and not heard. Um, so and we haven't been taught communication skills. Maybe you grew up with parents that fought a lot. Maybe you have fears of rejection. Relationships don't last. That was me with my parents getting divorced. Now, all this is subconscious. Some of this stuff you might not be aware of because it's deep in our subconscious mind. But as I'm reading this off to you, some things might start coming up, and that's okay. Just to be with this, be with your feelings. Stay with me here because you're safe. You're just here to learn. You're here to learn, and you're here to make a difference for yourself. Maybe you jump into a relationship too soon. That's the anxious attachment, which I can't go into right now, but there's a lot of books out there and stuff on, we have these anxious attachments when we've been abandoned, we felt unsafe, and we can get very upset when we're abandoned. And you're saying, oh, I don't have time to date. That's a big one. We think that that's really true. We're burying ourselves in our work. We're burying ourselves with our kids, or maybe taking care of our parents. But really deep down, you're afraid of being in a relationship because of things that have happened in the past. So you can see all this stuff's from the past. You're attracted to the player bad guy. And I did this one too. I always was, those bad boys, you're attracted to those, but you're not attracted to the nice man that adores you. So we're not feeling safe. We feel unlovable, unworthy. Relationships don't last. People hurt you, reject you, abandon you, let you down. People engulf you. Maybe you had, and let me explain that a little bit. Maybe you had a mom or a parent. I see it a lot with moms that they're overly needy, and that you had to sacrifice a lot from when you were a kid, and now you're just like, oh, you can't. It's hard for you to be in a relationship. It's because you're afraid of somebody taking too much from you, and so I see that a lot too. So let me just check the chat and see where we're at. So this was great. Someone said, I tend to be involved with sensitive men. And then I become impatient, feeling as if I have to walk on eggshells. Oh, that's a good one. So there's something around and um, being involved with sensitive men, probably maybe they sound like they have issues from their past of not being able to be a confident alpha male. And so there's something about why you want to be in a relationship with those types of men, because maybe you feel you can have better control. So even though we don't like these things, there's something, you're getting a payoff from it in some way. But I would have to dive deep more into that for the one-on-one call. But that's just give you a little overview of that. How's this working for you, ladies? Are you like, oh my God, I'm seeing this pattern here, these blocks. Is this helpful? Do you have questions? And like I said, we will do Q&A at the end. I'm just trying to go through all this. I want to give you everything I can in the hour that we have together. We might go over a little bit because I just get so passionate about sharing this information. So you are not destined to be alone. No one is. I know in your little head, you might be thinking that sometimes. You don't need to keep repeating these painful experiences. You can heal these underlying beliefs that are keeping you stuck in these unloving relationships. And like I said, the fastest and the most effective way to heal our wounds and beliefs from our past is through our feelings. And what we have been actually doing with our feelings is we've been pushing them down, ignoring them, suppressing them, and they're locked in our body and along with our subconscious mind and sabotaging your love life. And this isn't just if you're single and dating. This is, this happens if you're in a relationship. And that's why I always say, like, dating is really, that's why you really want to work on yourself in dating, because it sets yourself up to be successful in the relationship because you worked on your shit. Excuse my French. So getting back to these feelings and suppressing and pushing them down, ignoring them, we have never been taught how to be with our feelings. It's even like, I remember, like, stop crying, here's a cookie. We've been taught to eat food, to drink alcohol, to, and some of us work a lot to hide our feelings. Or, we're not saying anything at all, and it ends up getting stuck in our bodies, and it causes health problems, and it sabotages our love life. So we want to start to be with our feelings. And that takes an exercise of really connecting, when you're having these emotions, like feeling sad, angry, anxiety, that we start to, say, oh, okay, what am I feeling here? Where do I feel this in my body? And I also have a revolutionary technique that has you really do this effectively, but I'm just giving you what I can tonight, is that how you can start, and that your feelings are valid and they matter. I want to share with you a success story. Jane, who came to me, she had been through a divorce, and she was in a relationship for over 6 years, and the guy never asked to marry her. And, same thing, we've all probably been through. She had hired a matchmaker, tried online dating, and none of it was working. And so when we start to work together, she discovered she was afraid to speak up for what she needed. She came from a father that was, was very aggressive, and she was never, it was almost the same thing I talked about. You're here to be seen and not heard. And so this childhood wound kept resurfacing. She wasn't speaking up for what she wanted. She was dating men that didn't want to give her commitment, not treating her right. So we worked on healing this. and shifting it to that she did matter. She was worthy. And then we also pulled in some other things about how to do online dating. Within 30 days, she was dating 4 men. And one of them wanted a commitment right away. But one of the things I say to do is you don't jump in a relationship. You take a couple months. You're dating a couple guys for a couple months, and you are really, seeing if they're checking the boxes, because it takes time to get to know someone. So we don't want to jump in relationships. And then after 3 months, they had a committed relationship, and then a year later engaged, and now she's married. The one of the things that really stood out was this guy Dan that she met. He had said, I never met a woman that communicated with me the way that you have, because she was able to, I mean, can you imagine? She went from, she couldn't speak up around her father. She kept having this pattern, and we changed it to that. Oh, here's a man saying, you know what? I never had a woman that communicated the way that you did. So this is how this can work. This is the quantum shift that I'm talking about in your love life. I mean, her love, her life is altered forever. So that's awesome. The other thing is we keep doing this thing where, oh, I got to keep, working on myself and in order to be in a relationship. And yes, you do have to work on yourself, right? You do have to do some internal work, but you're never going to be perfect. And we're human, but you want to make sure that you are in a relationship that is healing and growing together. So, of course, you want to be at a certain level, but you also want to make sure that you attract a man that wants to grow with you, that's open to growing. That's one of the top things I see that's missing with women in dating is they're not meeting somebody and they're not being in a relationship with a man that's willing to grow with you, that's willing to change, that's willing to listen and hear when something's bother you, that he wants to work on that. Or so that is very important. So write that down that you make sure that you are with a man that's willing to grow with you. And learning to trust ourselves. We don't trust our intuition. We have a feeling when we know something's not right, but we're stepping over it. We're more in our heads. We're not in our bodies and tuning into the feeling because of what I said earlier about suppressing. But once you start to tune into those feelings in that body, you're more connected to your intuition. You're more connected to your heart, and your heart is open. Deborah, this is a very inspiring story. She had 2 divorces, 59, psychologist. She actually teaches at a college, and she also was in a cycle of bad relationships. And she couldn't understand because she's a beautiful woman. She's successful, smart. And when she came to me, she was like, I do not want to even do online dating. And so and actually when I work with women, when we work together, the first 30 days, you don't do any dating. You work on you, because once you work on you, then everything opens up. So within it was probably actually about 45 days that she said, okay, I'm ready to do online dating. And this is actually one of the pictures that she used for her online dating profile. And then actually she met somebody within 4 months, and then they got married a year later at the age of 60. And so she had sent me this note. It's been a year and a half since I met Dan, an amazing, loving, kind, and generous man. And he never failed in a year and a half to bring me flowers every week and to hold me when I cry and laugh every day. And so she said, it's never too late, ladies, as I'm 60, and there's lots of great guys out there for you. So very inspiring. It doesn't matter how many divorces you've been through, how many men, how long you've been single, how old you are, because I know that's a big one that comes up, because you're thinking, oh, only men want younger women. That's not true. There are some men that are like that, but they're not the ones that you want. So you be connected to what's important to you, and and there is a man out there that's going to love and adore you for you. The other thing involved in quantum love, the quantum shifts in love, is having high standards. We want to be picky, but you want to be picky about the right things that are important for you to be in a relationship. And this starts with a vision, being very crystal clear. Like, what is your vision of of a love? Not just your checklist, but what would it feel like? How do you want to feel with a man in the relationship? Do you want to feel safe? Do you want to feel like adored, cherished, loved, accepted? You want adventure. Uh, you want to write those things down. What's it going to look like? Maybe, and every relationship is different. You can have what you want. I mean, I've met people, some people live in separate houses together, and that works for them. Some people want to be together all the time. Write down what's important to you and values. Values are important. Compatibility. Do you want the man that maybe you like sitting on the couch watching TV, so you'll want a man like that, or maybe you want somebody who wants to work out with you. So be very crystal clear. And so another example was Christina. She's 34, for some of my young people out there, for inspiring, but she kept being in dead-end relationships. She was never married, but she always was in these relationships where men weren't treating her as a priority. And I helped her be very clear in the right high standards, and that she was worthy to have them. And she sent me this text. Yes, I followed the coaching and I learned to raise my standards in dating. And it wasn't easy because I doubted myself and I needed to change my mindset on dating. But once I did, I got the results I was looking for. Thank you again, Kim, for your coaching. I am blessed. I found John. And I mean, it warms my heart to, to see people. That's why I do what I do, to see people in love. And it's the greatest thing when it's right. So another area that's very important is what I call the love map strategy. Here's the thing. We do not think about it being intentional in dating. We just throwing mud out there, hoping something's going to stick. And guess what? We have 50% of first marriages end in divorce, and then your second marriage, 67%, and then your third, 73%, and then divorce. And like, why is this? Why is this going on? And yeah, maybe sometimes people, they grow apart. But I think for the most part is we're not being taught how to date. We're not taught how to be in relationships. We don't have the best role models. There's no master's degree or a PhD in dating and relationships. We don't see it in the school system. And so, that's why we can get so down on ourselves and we could think there's something wrong with us, because we can't find the one. I certainly did, but it's not that there's anything wrong with you. You just haven't been taught these techniques and skills to do it right. An old school waiting. You're blindly getting out there without a plan. Like you probably went online. I hear this a lot. I went online and it was horrible and I'm not going back again. I'm not going back again. You didn't really learn anything how to date. You just went on there hoping something was going to work. You're trying to get advice from family and friends. They're not going to help you. You're leaving your love life to hope and a gamble. And there's that whole thing. Oh, it will happen when you least expect it. And so you keep waiting and waiting to meet somebody in your everyday life and it's not working. It's like a crapshoot. So I'm just going to speed up a little bit because we're getting close to our time. So I just went over all this, but what your love map strategy, you have a plan, you're being intentional. You also, as important, is having dating skills. Like, communicating, flirting, how to be in your feminine, how to communicate in an empowering and inspiring way. These things are so important, not only when you're dating, but when you're in a relationship. So that's why the things that you learn now in dating will set you up for success to have the relationship that you want to have, like the optimal, the optimal one. So one of the things that this is a daily practice that I teach my clients, and I still do this today, even in my own life, because, and you can apply this to any of this in your life. You can apply this to your love life. You can apply this to your health, to your career, is writing down your vision and reviewing that every day. Having an intention. So intentions are like goals, but it's like, I intend to be in a relationship that's loving, safe, and with a man that adores and cherishes me. So you would write that down, and you would write that down every day, and you review it. Your highest self name would be, who are you going to be? Well, I'm going to be loving. I'm going to be forgiving. I'm going to be of gratitude. I'm going to be a queen goddess that is attracting their king. Practicing gratitude. What am I grateful for today? That keeps you in that high vibrational state that I talked about earlier, to have that quantum shift. There's always something to be grateful for, even just sleeping in a nice bed, and celebrating with yourself. We try to be so humble, and we don't really connect with, what about celebrating you? Like, what did you do today? Well, I worked out. You write this stuff down. Or I said hi to 3 guys today, or I went online, or I spoke up for myself today, or I was kind and helped somebody today. Writing these things down in a journal on a daily basis makes a difference in your life. And then the other thing is to be in action. Maybe you're going to go online once a day and just, go in there for 10 minutes a day. Or you're going to be in the grocery store or whatever. I know because of the pandemic, things are a little bit more challenging to get yourself out there, but people are doing it. I just had a client that met somebody online during this, pandemic. And you just take it slow. You're on video chats, and then you can meet in a park where you keep your distance. Or there's these online speed dating, there's online dating. You can flirt at the grocery store still with it's a little challenging with a mask on, but you can still do it. Maybe you can get a mask that has a big smiley face on it. Have fun. That's the thing. Like, pull in the fun. How could you have fun with this instead of it being something that's seems like it's daunting? Because you could have fun with it. I'm just going to go through real quick with the online dating because we're running out of time. I'm just going to go, but online dating does work. I met my husband online. Most of my clients meet their significant other online, but you got to do it right. That's one of the things that's missing, because there's a lot of benefits. And number one, especially right now, a lot of people are online. It's like the best time to be dating online. The 5-step process that I use: number one, the right site. Now, different sites are different in different areas. Match.com is a big one, but there's Hinge, OkCupid, Bumble. I recommend being on 2. You got to choose the right pictures. I highly recommend getting professional photos done. What you put into the process is what you're going to get out. You have to remember, this is your first impressions count so much, right? Especially for men, they're so visual. So you got to have a great primary photo, and then have a couple of photos of where you're doing something fun that you like to do. Your profile has to be enticing, authentic, where men are really drawn to it. They're actually even thinking, wow, I would love to go on a date with this woman. She seems like somebody that would be for me. It's got to be so positive and uplifting and showing your best self. And how do you maximize searching for quality men online and screen them before the first date? There's a process that you can do that so you stop wasting your time. You're not just throwing mud against the wall here, ladies. This is intentional and this is serious. This is like a small part-time job when you're doing online dating, but you want to do it right. You have to flirt online. So that's why, I recommend is that don't just be doing this by take some time, sit down, have a glass of wine, have a cup of tea, put on some soft music, and really get into a groove where, you want to feel good before you go online. So you're in that state. And just imagine, like, if you were going out to dinner with somebody, that guy was sitting right in front of you, how would you be? What would you say? You have to do the same thing when you're having these conversations online. This is one of the things when I work with clients, we actually go online together. We search for men together. I help them choose the right men. I help them vet them out. I help them message the right things to say. So you are just we're really holding your hand through the whole process so that you're getting the results. And Karen, 71, who came to me, she was widowed. She had been single for about 4 years. And she just wanted another relationship like the one that she had with her husband. And she was on 5 sites. I mean, bless her heart. I was like so proud of her. I mean, here she was 71. She's on 5 sites. And but she was dating this guy off and on that wasn't really treating her right, wasn't making her a priority. I had her end it with that man right away. We worked on everything with her about her online dating profile and that she, because a lot of times, women over 16, 70 are worried about their age and they think they got to settle. And that's not true. She ended up meeting somebody a couple months later that was same age as her. And they're having a wonderful life together. So it works. Again, Jamie, 61, divorced, in relationship. She met Frank within 30 days and was kind of funny when she first met Frank. She's like, well, he's kind of skinny. But I said, be open because, we're looking more at compatibility and values in a person. And she's in the best relationship that she's ever had. She ended up overlooking that and she's in love. Sarah met somebody within 30 days. She was having problems. She didn't have high standards. That's a big one. You have to have those high standards in dating. So glad to be able to give you what I could within this time. And, if you keep trying to go out there and dating or being in a relationship that's not working, you're hoping it's going to change. And you're trying to do this like your careers, you're trying to just, plow through it. It's not going to work. You can't think your way out of this. It's not going to work just with your affirmations. And the cost is that you're going to keep being in a relationship that doesn't work, maybe get married again, maybe get divorced, maybe, keep dating these men that are jerks online. And it takes a stress on you. It can affect your health. It can affect your career, your emotional states. And you try to put a happy face on it. But men, like I said, it's the energy. Men can feel it energetically. And also, there could be a catch of a lifetime right around the corner, but you don't even know it. Just case in point, one of my clients, she ended up, an old friend of hers, she reconnected with, and now they're in a relationship and they're going on vacations together. She ended up She was online, but she ended up reconnecting with this man. And she never liked him before because we had to work on some stuff that we had to heal. So as you see, there could be someone in your sphere that you're not even aware of that you didn't really like before. But once you start working on yourself, you're opening your heart, you're opening up your energy, your positive energy, you will feel differently about this man. The other thing is invest in mentoring. We're always, we get mentoring for our careers, mentoring for our health. And I cannot tell you, because it's so hard to see our blind spots and to learn new skills without investing in some type of mentoring. So, like I said, I have a gift. I would like to help. I did set aside some time tomorrow and next week to, if you would like to speak to me personally. You can get, you can sign up here. I'll put it in the chat. Oops. But this, I call it a love breakthrough session. So you and I will speak together for 30 minutes and it's complimentary. But it's for you if you're really looking to, like, you're like, okay, I'm done with this. I need some help. I would like to, talk about what's holding me back. What would be a plan for me to move forward, to have the love of my life? And I would, like to see what this love mentoring looks like. Okay. So I would love to speak with you about it. I know I'm talking really fast, but um, let me put this in the chat in case, to make that easier for you. And then we're going to open it up for, I'm just going to stop this share. I'm going to open it up for, I'll put it in the chat and I'll send this, let's see. Well, I'm not really good with the technology. Okay, it's in the chat because I have about 5 spots available for tomorrow and next week. If you'd like to, oh, that's not what I'm looking for. And then the other thing is I'm going to send you, for staying here. I just want to acknowledge all of you for staying here and trying to learn something new for yourself. Like, so pat yourself on the back. Woohoo, woohoo. Like, okay, this is your celebration. Celebrate you, that you came here to try to learn something new, change your love life. Stay to the end of this call tonight. I'm sure you can be doing a lot of different things. So we're celebrating you. And I'm going to be sending you, I send you the recording. And so you can go back and listen to it if you want, if you missed some things. And also I'm going to send you a worksheet that I use called the Loving You worksheet that you can print out and use every day. So I want to help you as much as I can. Okay, so I will open it up to Q&A, and it could be on anything. So let's see, how do I do this? Okay, you got mute all. So what you would have to do is unmute yourself. Do you know how to do that? If you don't, just you can say something that you can ask your question in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask me personally why I'm here. We have about probably 5 more minutes, and I'd be happy to answer any question about online dating, you're in a relationship. Pretty sure you can, I'll just, oh, there we go. There, you have the opportunity. I'm just trying to think of some things that I usually get. Yes, Jackie, hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you? I actually am in a relationship right now where the guy says we're just friends with benefits, and it didn't start out like that. But once I couldn't perform in the right way, like I just don't have the experience for lovemaking, it kind of went sour.
How long
And now
have you guys been together?
not very long. Like I went on a date at his place for the weekend before Christmas, and then his phone went disappeared to someplace 5 hours away for 3 weeks, and he didn't have any way to contact me because he only had his number in my phone. And it wasn't until I had to stop in to some place where I knew he'd be for something else, and I saw him there, and that's when he said, "I bet you're wondering what happened to me." And then that's when he started saying he only wanted to be friends with benefits. But before that, it was like he was all in.
Okay. When did you come into this event? Did you miss some of this event or?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get a chance to see some of the things I talked about when we're feeling unworthy or we're not good enough and how that plays out?
No, because I came in
Okay.
a little too late, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big, big thing. So how do you feel with this man?
Well, I find he's negative. Like he's putting the negative on me, telling me that he's too poor, there'd be no dinners out and all this stuff. And I said, I guess I don't expect much. And he says I'm too negative, but he's taking the lust away because he's so worried and scared that I'm going to move in with him and take all his stuff because he's had 2 relationships before where he's had to start over. And he said he doesn't want to do it
Yeah.
a third time. And he's just so scared.
So when I
So how do you
say, how do you feel? Do you feel loved? Do you feel cherished? Do you feel special? Do you feel safe?
no.
So that's right there. As soon as you don't feel that way, you leave.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, you never want a man. If a man says that, you always, number one, you want to listen to what a man says. Don't rationalize. We rationalize as women. We try to think of all these different things, you know. As soon as a man's number one, you want to believe him. He says that I just want to be friends with benefits. Is that what you want?
Well, right now, because I need some experience, I'm okay with it.
I would learn more from experience from a coach. I think the first big thing, though, what you need to work on, I'm just going to be straight, is you need to work on you feeling worthy and feeling good enough about yourself inside. And then you'll feel sexy. It's all a beingness. There's a
Yeah.
being, you know, having great sex is a feeling of confidence. Yeah, there's strategies, of course, there's skills. There's skills for everything. But you're
And I just had like my muscles were just so tense that I just couldn't relax, was the problem. But I thought I had something wrong with me, and it turns out it's not that at all. And I've come a long way
that's
since the last
great.
time we saw each other.
Yeah, but I would wait to practice on somebody that's going to be loving and warm and you feel safe.
Okay.
That's what I would do. So I would work on yourself, that, you know, from the inside out. And I'll be sending out the recording so you can listen to it again, or you could, you know, if you want to find out more about yourself personally, you can sign up for that call that I have for 30 minutes for complimentary if you want.
Okay.
Was that helpful?
Yeah, that was helpful.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you. I just wish I had got the email on time, but I just happened to click on and I was like, oh, this be interesting. And I clicked on and I got in too late.
Oh, that's okay. I'll send you the recording and you can listen to it.
Okay, thanks
I'm
so
going to
much.
listen to the beginning because it explains a lot of stuff.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, Jackie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Anybody else would like to ask a question in the chat or unmute yourself and ask me a question? That was a great question, by the way. And thank you for sharing that. Nobody has a question? You have an opportunity here to ask a question. You don't want to miss the opportunity. You're here for a reason. Anything about relationships, your love life, dating, how to handle certain situations? Okay, well, Like I said, I'll send you guys the recording tomorrow so you can listen to it again. You also have the opportunity, if you'd like to find out more about coaching, sign up for a 30-minute coaching call with me. And oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Susie and Flora, for thanking me. And it's my pleasure to share this information and to help all of you. So I do